He believed December was his golden season until greed led him down a path from which there was no return. What happened next shocked everyone. Kola always believed that life had seasons, and to him, the most important season was December. He would often say, "Money falls in December like rain." While others planned step-by-step growth, Kola's eyes burned with greed for fast cash. He wanted to buy a car, rent a big apartment, and return to the village in glory. His hunger for success was not built on patience, but on the desire to shock everyone who once doubted him. Tunde watched his friend's obsession grow and tried to warn him. He reminded Kola that real wealth comes from steady work and character, not from shortcuts. But Kola laughed, calling him weak and slow. Kola believed that only those who take risks rule the world. He wanted to shine in December at all cost, even if it meant crossing lines that men should never cross. Inside, Kola was tired of seeing others succeed while he waited for his turn. He felt life owed him something. So when he heard whispers of strange rituals, midnight meetings, and secret shortcuts to wealth, something in him began to change. He no longer wanted just success. He wanted it instantly. Tunde noticed Kola withdrawing from normal life. He no longer talked about business ideas or saving money. Instead, he spoke in riddles, always hinting at a big December plan. December was still 2 months away, yet Kola acted like time was running out. He kept saying, "Wealth is a door. This December I will break it." One evening, under the moonlight, Kola met Mama Salma, a known herbalist rumored to have access to forbidden powers. She studied him carefully, seeing his impatience and desperation. Mama Salma spoke slowly, warning him that true power demands great sacrifices, and once a man tastes blood money, his soul may never return clean. Her words carried weight, but to a man blinded by greed, wisdom sounded like noise. Kola listened, his heart racing. The idea of a shortcut to riches burned brighter than any warning. He left her compound with mixed feelings, fear and excitement dancing in his chest. For the first time, his hunger crossed from desire into darkness. Tunde sensed danger and confronted Kola. He begged him to drop whatever plans he was chasing. "Some doors," Tunde said, "must never be opened." But Kola pushed him away emotionally, believing Tunde just feared seeing him rise above. To Kola, loyalty should support vision, not question it. Mama Salma gave Kola one last chance to walk away. She told him that shortcuts steal more than they give. "When your hands are stained with blood," she warned, "no amount of money will wash the guilt." But Kola's ears were closed. He demanded the ritual, insisting that he was ready to do whatever it takes to be rich. In that moment, Kola's fate was sealed, not by destiny, but by choice. Tunde cried silently as he watched his friend choose darkness over discipline. Kola stepped out into the night with determination, unaware that shadows were already following him. Kola returned to Mama Salma, and the ritual began. The night was silent, the sky covered with heavy clouds, as if nature itself refused to witness what would happen. Mama Salma lit a small fire and chanted words older than memory, calling spirits of greed, sacrifice, and forbidden wealth. Kola's heart pounded when Mama Salma finally told him the truth. The ritual demanded a human head. Kola froze, fear taking over for the first time. He realized that this path had only one currency: life. Mama Salma reminded him, "Every man who seeks blood money thinks he can walk away clean. but blood never forgets. Yet, even while shaking, greed pressed Kola forward. The ritual required him to bring the head himself. Kola left with trembling hands, caught between the horror of the price and the hunger for glory. His soul battled itself in silence. Subscribe and turn on notifications to hear more jaw-dropping African folktales that teach real-life lessons. December arrived and the air was filled with festivals and joy. While others prepared for celebrations, Kola's mind burned with evil plans. He stopped sleeping, walking the streets at night like a man hunted by his own thoughts. Tunde kept calling him, hoping to save him, but Kola ignored every message. One cold night, Kola acted. Driven by greed and desperation, he made a decision that would destroy everything he once hoped to gain. In the darkness, he took a life, stealing the head needed for the ritual. His hands trembled as he placed it into a black nylon bag. The moment he touched the blood, Kola realized he had crossed a line no one returns from. His heart was heavy, his spirit stained. But even then, he tried to convince himself that riches would wipe away the fear and guilt. Kola hurried through the streets, clutching the bag, heading back to Mama Salma. Sweat rolled down his face, though the night air was cold. Every footstep sounded like a scream. Just as he turned into a lonely alley, police sirens echoed from afar. Inspector Ade had been tracking strange ritual killings for months, following clues, whispers, and rumors. That night, he spotted Kola acting suspiciously and intercepted him. Kola panicked, trying to hide the bag, but the blood dripping through the nylon betrayed him. Inspector Ade opened the bag and froze. There, staring back at them, was the human head. Kola collapsed instantly, crying and shaking. His December dreams shattered like glass at his feet. The police handcuffed him on the spot, reading his rights as December fireworks exploded in the distance. News spread quickly. People were shocked. Kola, the ambitious hustler, was now a criminal. Tunde watched the broadcast in disbelief and deep pain. He felt guilt, wondering if he could have done more to save his friend from himself. Mama Salma was arrested later the same night, found preparing the ritual site. She did not resist. She simply looked tired, as if she had seen this many times before. She told Inspector Ade that greed was always stronger than warnings. Kola sat silently in a cell, broken. The weight of his actions crushed him. He finally understood Tunde's warnings and Mama Salma's wisdom, but understanding came too late. In court, Kola's story unfolded. He confessed everything: his obsession with December, his hunger to prove everyone wrong, and how greed led him to darkness. Inspector Ade presented evidence calmly, driven not by anger, but justice. Tunde sat in the courtroom with tears in his eyes. He knew Kola needed a friend now more than ever, even though he hated what Kola had done. Friendship, he realized, is easy in good times, but tested in darkness. He stayed, silently supporting from afar. Mama Salma spoke only once. She told the court that a man who walks into darkness is responsible for his steps. She did not defend herself. She accepted her punishment. The court sentenced Kola to life imprisonment. Prison changed Kola. The loud gates, iron beds, and empty nights forced him to reflect. He replayed every moment, realizing how greed blinded him to simple truths. If he had worked slowly, maybe by now he would have achieved honest success. Tunde visited him months later. They sat across the glass divider, speaking softly. Kola apologized through tears, admitting that he destroyed his own life. Tunde forgave him, saying forgiveness is not approval, but release. Kola decided to use his time in prison to warn others. He wrote letters, advising young men to choose patience. The walls couldn't stop his voice. Kola sent his letters to schools, youth centers, and churches. One speech from him began spreading online. He said, "Do not let December pressure you into darkness. Wealth without peace is a prison, whether you are behind bars or free." Inspector Ade saw the message and felt proud that justice led to transformation. Not all criminals change, but Kola chose redemption. Mama Salma, serving her own sentence, heard his words and smiled sadly. Perhaps this time someone would listen. Tunde shared his message wildly, turning Kola's tragedy into a warning that could save others. Years passed. Kola aged inside prison, but his heart grew wiser. He no longer dreamed of cars or fame. He dreamed of being free in spirit, even if his body remained confined. He understood that greed is a poison that wears the face of opportunity. Tunde continued living a simple, honest life. Slowly, through hard work, he built a business that grew steadily. He proved that patience truly builds lasting success. Kola watched from afar and smiled. He finally learned that success earned slowly tastes sweeter than wealth bought with blood. One Harmattan morning, Kola sat under a small prison tree, journaling his thoughts. He wrote one last warning. "Not every path to wealth leads you home. Some paths lead you to prison, others to the grave. Choose wisely." Inspector Ade visited the prison, shook Kola's hand, and told him that redemption is possible, even in chains. Mama Salma remained silent in her cell, praying that fewer souls would repeat their mistake. The December that once symbolized riches now symbolized regret. Kola finally found peace, not through money, but through truth. Moral lesson: fast wealth destroys. True success takes time. Subscribe and turn on notifications to hear more jaw-dropping African folk tales that teach real-life lessons.